Chapter 2.3 The Nature of Concepts. When scientists use a word, it gets a technical meaning. It becomes a concept. In referring to a human being, biologists use the phrase Homo sapiens or wise man to describe the modern man. If a person falls ill, in common language people say he or she has got fever. As discoveries get advanced, words like malaria, influenza indicate the nature of the fever. They also describe which parts or insects have affected the body. Then we understand the nature and cause of the disease. The next step is finding the care for the same through the use of tablets or injections. So when fever or disease is described in terms of its components and their behavior or misbehavior is known, we begin to know how things or bodies associated and recognized get interrelated. Each measurement helps the physician to analyze the nature of the disease, thus temperature, blood pressure, sugar or blood sugar content is in urine can be measured. Each of these words and their measurement have a definite meaning. Thus, tests can be carried out by persons other than physicians. The words that describe each measurement become concepts and are commonly understood in the same sense by technicians. A common understanding helps locate the normal and pathological distribution of the bodies or antibodies and their particular combinations. Tell how they lead the physicians to determine the disease and where to look for a cure. Chemistry as a science came into its own when the atom was discovered as the smallest particle of matter that could take part in a chemical reaction. Atomic weight or hydrogen was taken to be 1 and of oxygen 2. Thereby weights of 92 elements were calculated. These were arranged in a table called the atomic table. Further, researchers on unstable elements carried their number to 110. The elements could mix up in a reaction. Soon it was found that there was no loss of weight in a chemical reaction. This was a theoretical statement. Atomic weight was a concept. The interrelations among concepts that could be proved to hold is a number of its trials or experiments became a theoretical proposition. Further, interrelations among such theoretical conclusions became a part of the theory. The chief characteristic of theory is that it constitutes a series of conclusions stated in terms of concepts and their interrelationship. Thus, theoretical proposition gets linked to others and one or all taken together constitute the theory in a subject. The process of theory formation then requires the following steps. First, identification of the smallest unit and its characteristics. Second, the interactions among these units that lead to the formation of compounds and complexes in determinate ways. Third, statement that use concepts and their interrelations to indicate the nature of interactions and their result. And fourth, the frequent experimentations to arrive at the stated result. And if result shows a difference, then explain the difference and arrive a revised statement. Conceptual abstraction. A little further explanation of a concept is in order. We do not see a concept. We arrive a concept. It is an abstract. When we see a person and come to know his or her name, it is described as a proper noun. Somnath or Abdul Kalam are proper names, but when they refer to the Speaker of the Lok Sabha or President of India, we are referring to their characteristics. Thus, Speaker or President are abstractions. Pushpa may be the name of teacher and Shanti the name of the student. Here again, teacher and students are abstractions. We arrive at abstractions by converting proper noun into common nouns. Sachin and Kaif are cricketers, and Ghulam Ali a musician, and so on. Can you try to convert the following places into their characteristic? Delhi, Mumbai, Bhopal. Choose from among the following: a port city, a national capital, a state capital. Match the characteristic. The second list is of abstractions. Chapter 2.4 Concepts in Sociology, some illustrations. Now let us look at some concepts and sociologists use frequently. We use one word to signify one object or a meaning. We use different words to signify other objects. Thus we try to have same meaning for describing similar things. Different words to make differences clear. Human beings can be put into different categories, example male, female, brother and sister belong to the same generation, father and son to different generations, so do mother and you try, and all you own example, mother-in-law and father-in-law or sister-in-law. Thus we begin to describe the relationship among two persons. These relationships are found among many such units of two persons. Relations among two persons are called dyadic. D means two. The unit of two persons is called dyad. Radcliffe Brown, a British anthropologist, suggested that the first social relationship is a dyadic in nature. When we talk of a relationship, we ask a question: is the relationship limited to one event or it is repeated time and again? Then we raise a second question: is the relationship limited to two persons only or many persons in similar situations are involved in it? A student-teacher relationship is found among two persons, but then there are many teachers and many students. There is a common acceptance that students will get related to teachers in some defined way. Here let us introduce a few concepts. A student in getting related to the teacher performs a role. It gets defined when repeated time and again it acquires a pattern. This pattern is expected to be performed. An individual performing the role has been defined as a person by Nadal. Let us go ahead. The role of a student is performed by many students. Hence, Nadal says one role is performed by many individuals or a person is many individuals. Now our individual enters into more than one interrelationship every day. In the family, he may be a brother or sister or someone else. Next, he may be a son related to father, a son related to mother, and in three-generation family, grandson related to the grandparents, and so on. This situation is described or conceptualized by saying that one individual is many person. Next, we see the chapter 2.5 Concepts to Theorems, Natural Sciences.